Hello and welcome to another video review brought to you by yours truly, Thorazine. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Mortal Kombat figure by way of Reptile from the Mortal Kombat Classic Ninja 6-pack. The 6-pack also contains Sub-Zero, Smoke, Noob, Ermac, and Rain in addition to Reptile here. These are from the 4-inch line by Jazwares. As you can see, they scale well with G.I. Joe and Marvel figures, who are sold as 3 3/4 inch. Even though they do appear to be just a tad bit taller than the Ninja here. See if we can get them to stand there next to them. Right, let's get these out of here and we'll take a look at the actual figure himself. The molding isn't bad. The paint apps aren't overly horrible. I know this set seems to get a lot of flack on the internet about quality, especially compared to the Cyborg 3-pack. Overall, this isn't a bad figure. The paint apps aren't too horrible, nothing worse than I've seen in G.I. Joe or some of the Marvel figures. As you can see here, one of the nice little features is they have individually painted eyes. Reptile's eyes are yellow, although they are a bit cross-eyed on my figure here, which gives them a kind of a creepy look rather than a scary look. I don't know if you can make that distinction or not. The paint on this figure is also the same kind of flat or matte finish that we've seen on the Cyborg pack, which does give the figure a slightly cheaper feel. You know, a nice gloss paint would have definitely brought the appearance of quality up a bit. The plastic, not quite on par with what Hasbro would use on their Marvel or G.I. Joe or Star Wars figures. Let's take a look at the actual articulation on the figure here. The feet are hinged with a swivel point, which allow you to tilt the foot down and up, as well as rotate it 360 degrees at the ankle. The knee is single hinge, which allows for 90 degrees of motion there, as well as a swivel point, which allows 360 degree rotation at the knee. The hips here are ball jointed, which provide 90 degrees of lateral motion at the leg, about the same in the forward direction. And backwards, not so much so. The molding for the hind quarter here does prevent any kind of backwards motion here on the leg. You can also rotate the leg a full 360 degrees there at the hip, which does help with the action posing. And the waist, no articulation there in the waist. There is that typical kind of mid-torso articulation we see in a lot of 3 3/4 inch figures, which allows you to tilt the upper body forward and backwards slightly, as well as turn it from side to side. You can get a full 360 degree rotation out of the mid-torso. The hand is attached with the typical peg and hole assembly, which allows 360 degree rotation there at the wrist. Elbow single hinged, 90 degrees of motion there in the elbow, as well as 360 degrees of swivel movement there in the elbow. And the shoulder, you'll see, is attached with the typical ball hinge assembly that we see in many Hasbro figures, as well as the swivel point behind that. The ball joint provides a little over 90 degrees of lateral motion there in the arm, while the swivel point provides you with 360 degrees of rotation there. Get his arm turned back around the right way. The head is attached with a ball joint here, which allows you to kind of nod the head forward and backwards a bit, as well as kind of cock it off to the side for more expressive poses. And you do, of course, get 360 degree rotation out of the ball joint there. For articulation, not too bad, on par with most G.I. Joe and Marvel figures. The only thing I have against this figure, like I said, is the kind of matte finish on the paint and the slightly lower quality plastic that they use. All in all, not a bad figure though, great for troop building. It is rather cool to have a one of the ninjas from the Mortal Kombat games that I used to play as a kid in scale with my G.I. Joes and Marvel figures. It's going to make for some interesting photography sessions when I get my camera back out. Final thoughts on the figure, not too bad of a figure. I would recommend it. I don't know if I would pay the current eBay price, which seems to be right around $70 for the 6-pack. Not quite worth that much. If you can find it at the actual retail price of about $35 at Toys R Us, or I know Sears.ca has them for $35 right now, I would definitely grab them at that price. I did end up paying more than retail for mine because I was just impatient and didn't feel like taking the time to search all the local Toys R Us's in my area to see if I could find a set. Do I regret it? No, I do spend quite a bit more money on toys than your average person, so I don't regret overspending sometimes when I really want a figure. For your average person, though, I don't think they would be happy with spending $75, $70 to $75 on this set. I would definitely shoot for the retail price or look on the secondary market in your BST threads on whatever forums you frequent and see if you can find a good deal on them. It does kind of pale in comparison with the Cyborg Ninjas here. There are quite a bit more applications on them. I can see where they get their bad rap from. But if you look at it as a standalone figure, it is a decent toy on its own. And overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Thank you for watching. My name is Thorazine. Tune in again when we'll be talking about some more toys.